And welcome to the That's Football channel, where we are doing Everton versus Chelsea today. I hope you're all doing very, very well. We are just about to start with the kickoff. Chelsea, obviously, probably the favourites in this game. Everton replacing their manager. I think everybody would agree that is the correct thing to do. We're going to go through the team news in a minute, but we're just going to start the game as well. It has just kicked off. Let me just start the timer for you as well. 10 seconds. We should be about 10 seconds in, I suppose. Yep, okay. Let's get that going. How you all doing? Big Saturday. I'm calling it Big Saturday because nobody else is calling it that, and I thought I would. But it is Big Saturday. It's Manchester Derby time, isn't it? We're looking forward to that. We are sponsored by OneFootball today as well, and I've lost my bloody phone. I need to find my phone. We'll go through the team news, and then I'll find my phone because I need my phone. I can't not have my phone. Let's have a quick look at team news then. I know the Chelsea team news is unchanged from midweek. Very interested to see if there is going to be any bounce from Everton. It's certainly interesting at the moment. I don't want to bring Arsenal in it to so early, but sack your manager, take 1 point from Norwich and Brighton. So it doesn't always work with a bounce. But Everton have started the game with Pickford, Sidibe, Holgate, Keane and Deeney. Welcott, Schneiderlin, Sigurdsson, Iwobi, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. Chelsea, Kepa, James, Christensen, Zuma, Azpilicueta, Kante, Kovacic and Mount, Willian, Pulisic and Abraham. So it's interesting, even from a Manchester United point of view, it's an interesting game because we have got Everton next weekend. So I'm interested to see if there is going to be any bounce from Everton today. I would prefer them to have kept Marco Silva, to be honest with you, because he's a little bit crap. But Liverpool obviously benefited from that one. We didn't. Making your dinner? Yeah. Okay. So back in the room, I found my phone now, and here we go. We've not missed a goal, which is always the main thing. You need your phone. Links in the video description for the OneFootball app. It's free. It's on Apple and Android. We'll be referring to that through the game. But basically, it's a football app where you can follow football. You can follow your own team. You can get updates. But on match days, it's very good. I want to refer to it actually straight away and see, because it's quite interesting. When we were using the OneFootball app on the Manchester United Spurs game in the week, 52% of people said that Spurs would win. And they got it wrong. So let's see what people are saying today. Matches. Everton versus Chelsea. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. 83% are going for a Chelsea win. 13% for Everton. 4% the draw. People never go for the draw on the OneFootball app, which is, I suppose it's just not very glamorous, is it? But yeah, I'm going to go with the Chelsea result as well. I feel that's what will happen. But early start here, and Chelsea have started the better. I mean, it's a very good midfield, isn't it? I think that Kovacic has been brilliant this season, and then you add in a player like Kante as well, and games are won and lost in the midfield. And as a United fan, I'm very acutely aware of this, and Chelsea have got a very good midfield. And Reece James puts a cross in there. Pickford's a prat, isn't he? Pickford's a real over-actor goalkeeper, isn't he? He really does exaggerate things. Baby Bridge in, says Goldbridge, Peace Prosperity. I presume you could hear me having a chat with him there. Darren Fitzgerald says 2-2. And who is better, Pickford or Kepa, says Manas. I'm not a fan of either of them, to be honest. I think they've both got mistakes in there. And how's your day going, says Connell. Good. I'm sort of pacing myself, said Jamie, says afternoon mate. I'm sort of pacing myself today because the Manchester Derby's a big game. It's not our biggest game. Liverpool is way bigger, but in the context of our season, I think it's a very, very big game. I think Manchester United need to get a result today. Otherwise, we're just going to be this team that just keeps flip-flopping back and forward. We need to get a draw. Recons LFC says, I voted for a draw for City United on OneFootball. Let me just have a look what the voting is on that one, actually, because you can have a look at the... We can do that. It's a good idea, that. So, on today's games in the OneFootball app, I'm going to go with a draw in that. Very surprising. And it's 1-0 to Everton. Oh my life, we've missed a goal. Everybody. It's 1-0 to Everton. We'll go back to the OneFootball app. You can download it. The link's in the video description. But Duncan Ferguson's happy. I haven't even seen the goal yet because I'm messing around Lampard sat there with folded hands. Jody Morris looks like he's thinking who's getting the drinks in. Bill Kenwright's nearly crying. He's an overactor. He's from the theatre. But it starts off with just a nice little bit of a layoff there. And Richarlison knocks it out wide. Cross comes in. I'm keeping my eyes on Richarlison. Up he goes. It's just poor defending from Chelsea, I suppose. They just don't get hold of... they don't get hold of him. Lovely little cross. It's a good cross. And they just can't get him. He gets the jump on it. It's a good header, says Jacob Damien. It's just, you know what? Sometimes in football, it's not about the defence. And if you're a Chelsea fan, you're definitely going to say... oh, you know what? It's poor defending. Jeffrey, let's do a bit of zippy. Oh, Jeffrey. But I think, you know, Richarlison starts that move, puts it out wide. You pass and move. He puts the cross in. And he gets on the end of his... doesn't get on the end of his own cross. He gets on the end of the cross. So, lovely start already. 1-0 Everton already. And that's perfect. It's exactly what you want. I think Chelsea are the favourites in this game. Everton have got a new coach, and that's a bounce. That's what you call a bounce, because Arsenal fans, take note. When you sack your manager as a player, you've got to, and we've all been there. I mean, I've not played at a level high enough where you sack your manager, but I have played where managers have left and a new manager comes in, and you know you've got to prove yourself again, even if it's just keeping your place in the team. So Arsenal have been disgusting the way that they've reacted to getting a new manager. But Everton 1-0 up in the first 5 minutes against one of the form teams in the Premier League this season, and Everton certainly haven't been that till now. So these players, they've got to go out and prove themselves, haven't they? And I tell you what, Duncan Ferguson, I remember as a player, he used to go to prison. He got sent to prison as a player for fighting. I don't know, I can't remember whether it was on the pitch or not, but he definitely went to prison for a bit. It could have been drink driving, could have been throwing a punch. You just don't know with Big Dunk, but he won't take any prisoners, that's for sure. He was an interesting player, Duncan Ferguson, as a player. Quite a good player in fairness, but as I said, I don't think there'll be no back chatting in the dressing room. That's what I would say. But it's 1-0 to Everton. Interesting start, and you always want that. And yet again, has Goldbridge picked out another cracking watch along for That's Football. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Everybody's welcome on here. I did Arsenal Brighton on Thursday and everyone was like, why are you doing this? Boringest game ever. Wasn't boring. Arsenal lost. And I think this one was one that I've highlighted that will be pretty good. So it's Everton 1. It's Chelsea 0. And also, not only from a Manchester United point, and am I looking at this game because we've got Everton next week and thinking, oh, are they going to get a bounce? But also, if Everton could take points off Chelsea and Manchester United could beat Manchester City, there's an intriguing little bit of a story that Spurs and Arsenal, well, maybe not Arsenal fans, you're looking at a relegation battle, aren't you? But there is an opportunity there. Certainly, even though Spurs lost in midweek, Chelsea lose today, they're on 29 points. If Spurs win today, they're on 23 points and they're 6 points behind Chelsea. If Manchester United win today and Chelsea lose, we're only 5 points behind them. So intriguing is what I would say in relation to that. But long time to go, and I still think Chelsea are a very, very good team, and it would be a fantastic result if Everton could get one today. But they certainly seem to be up for it a lot more. I do feel a little bit sorry for Everton though, and I don't feel sorry for Marco Silva because he spent a lot of money, but they did buy a player from France, and I forget what his name is, but they lost Idrissa Gueye, who statistically I think was one of the best tacklers in European football last season. He's gone to PSG, and they bought a lad in from France who I can't remember his name, but I don't know whether he's back from injury yet, but he got quite a bad injury early on, so they did lose that player, and they have to play Schneiderlin in the midfield, who, to be honest with you, is crap. Swank from McDank says, do you think City will steamroll United? No, I don't. I want United to get something today. I think they have to get something today. I'm going to go with a draw. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're new, by the way. We've been doing some cracking shows on here over the last few weeks. Try to do at least one Premier League watch along a week. We're doing some Champions League stuff in the week. I'll have a look in a minute what games we might do for those. FIFA on here. Football Manager's starting next week. So lots and lots of stuff. And as I said, everybody is welcome. That is the main thing. I have this game as a draw and United to win. Hopefully be €100 richer tonight, says Darren Fitzgerald. Not impossible. His name's Gaberman from the Ivory Coast, and I don't think he's back yet. He's been out for a long time, and he did come with a good really good pedigree. Young Khan says you're looking cute today. It's because I've had a shave. Cross comes in, and Willian will get rid. Afternoon, Mark. You okay, mate? Looking forward to the Just Eat teaser for later, says Humi. Yeah, get yourself on a takeaway later with Just Eat. We've got prizes and giveaways to go. We're live from 4:30 on the United stand. We are sponsored by Just Eat for the first time ever. Ooh, lovely cross by Walcott. And I tell you what, back post Richarlison. I don't really know what he's done there because he was never going to get on the ball. Theo Walcott, your hair looks shit, mate. And he's ended up putting himself into the post. Mark, are you Ollie out if United lose 5-0 or more today, says Mr. Mitt. Can I be absolutely honest here? I do think that I would struggle to be Ollie out off the basis of today. I've said what I think about it. I said it last night. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will ever win a title for Manchester United. It's 1-0 to Everton. Yes, that's what it says. Tammy Abraham's on the attack at the moment. But I tell you what, I always do like Goodison Park has always been one of my favourite Premier League grounds, and I think it's because even growing as a kid, it was Goodison Park, and there's not too many grounds now that when I was a kid are still their ground. If you think about Emirates, which used to be Highbury, White Hart Lane now's gone. You know, Anfield I'm never going to like because Liverpool's our biggest rival. Old Trafford I love because it's the club I support. But Goodison Park, traditional. It's their traditional home, and I do like it. You watching the fight tonight, Mark? Says Jordan Such. I don't know. I'm not. I probably won't, to be honest. I'm going to be absolutely honest and say no. I'm not going to watch it. I watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation last night on a recommendation. Twitter's brilliant. I love my Twitter followers. I really do. I said last night I really want to watch a Christmas film. Give me some recommendations. Otherwise, the wife's going to get me to watch Love Actually or bloody The Holiday or something like that. And I've watched Christmas Vacation loads of times, but I never would have thought about it to watch. And then somebody tweeted it, and loads of people liked it, and I was like, yes, I'm going to watch that. So I watched that last night. So I think tonight I'd like to watch another Christmas film because Christmas comes and goes quite quick, even though it's only, it's still another 3 weeks or so, isn't it, till Christmas? But if you want to watch loads of stuff, you've got to start watching it. So tonight, Derby for me, and then Manchester Derby, and then Match Reaction, and then I'll be watching the old Christmas film. I just don't know what to watch yet. Scar's Music says best Christmas film ever. It's not about that. It's just about watching a good Christmas film. I might watch Christmas with the Coopers. I've watched that before. It's quite good. Opinion on the standard of refereeing in the Premier League, says Dan 1-1. I don't think it's ever been that good, really, to be fair. Chelsea are still going to win, says 7777 Choo Choo. And Haroon Raymond says, hi Mark, long time no see. And Mark, I'm an Arsenal fan, please cheer me up, says Anarud. It's hard if you're an Arsenal fan, isn't it? Because you played on Thursday and now you're not playing till Monday. So, you're the last midweek game, you lose it, and now you're not playing till Monday. So it's just elongating the pain, isn't it? To think some of you fans will have no idea what you mean about Highbury, Main Road, Roker Park, Berlin County Ground, showing our age. We are. I mean, and I think just down the road from me is Coventry. That was Highfield Road, I think, knocked down. It's now the Rico. Villa Park and St Andrews, to be fair, are the traditional grounds. They're still there. Villa in Birmingham. Baseball ground at Derby. That's now Pride Park, isn't it? Leicester is not what it... Leicester's not... Is Leicester... Leicester used to be Filbert Street, and I think they knocked that down for the Walkers Stadium, didn't they? So, yeah, there's a lot. I was up at Highbury the other day on Tuesday though, because what they've done with Highbury, the old Arsenal ground, is fantastic. It still looks like it's a stadium, and the pitch is now gardens, and the outside stadium has been turned into apartments. It's a really, really good thing, because what makes me sad is when these old football grounds just get knocked down and flattened, and they build something like a supermarket there. So at least Arsenal actually, I don't know whether it was Arsenal's idea or not. Mark, I would love to see on this show a fan from each playing team to sit in or phone in during the game. Ted Williams. Everton nearly just went 2-0 up. Another shot in there. Chelsea need to start creating some chances. Spending cap in the Premier League, thoughts, says Mike Ockner. Nah, I can't really ever see that happening. It would be good for the Premier League, but would it be good for Premier League teams in Europe if every other club wasn't doing it? Are you a fan of On the Buses? Says Keep Metal Live E100. That's a little bit before my time. I know what it is, but I certainly wouldn't say I'm a fan of it. Good save by Kepa, that. Was a bit straight at him. Do you think Chelsea should spend in the January transfer, says Yusuf Ahmed? 100%, and I think from what Lampard has said, they will spend in the January transfer window, because he's basically come out and said we will spend if there's players available. And of course he didn't, from whatever you think about Chelsea and Lampard, he came into a club, Hazard left, his best player, and he had a transfer ban. So he will be absolutely overjoyed and desperate to spend in January. I just don't know where Chelsea are going to spend. I don't know where Chelsea are going to spend, because actually they clearly will spend some money because Lampard will want to, but they do pretty much have depth in every area, don't they, Chelsea? I mean, look at it as an outsider. They could probably do with another striker, because if Tammy Abraham gets injured, but then again they have got Batshuayi, but I still think they should spend. I wouldn't really think they need to spend in their midfield. They've got a lot of options in there, but maybe they're not happy with those options. Centre back, possibly, don't know. Full-back options are quite good, so I don't know. Highbury cannot be knocked down in its entirety. It's a grade-listed building. The marble halls, etc., and certain stands need to stay. Little bit of boring info, says Who Me. And It's a Wonderful Life is a brilliant Christmas film, says the Dugout Football Channel. You've hit the nail on the head there, Doug. That is definitely a consideration. I haven't watched it for a few years as well. Probably need a left back, Chelsea, says Est Marco and Antonius Harvey. Striker and a centre back, says Robert Parquet. And United 9-1 is way too overpriced. Got to have some of that, says Kieran Byrne. I imagine that's Manchester United to win at 9-1. Anyway, before Everton scored, we were going. Remember, we are sponsored by the One Football app today, so please do give it a download. Really good for in-game interaction and stats. I can tell you that in this game so far, it is Everton 1-0, but statistically, that probably surprisingly, 81% possession to Chelsea. They've had no shots on goal though. We've had 2 shots in this game so far. Both from Everton, both on target, and Everton are 1-0 up. Chelsea have had no shots on goal at all. We are nearly 20 minutes in, and they've had 80% possession. So that, to me, I mean, look, this one is, I've never seen a stat like this in a long, long time. But then again, Tammy Abraham's in here. A little bit of a mistake by Michael Keane. Willian, they're still on the attack. Willian, and it's gone for a goal kick, and they messed that up, really. Michael Keane made a mistake. Willian fed it into Tammy Abraham, got it back, and they just made a right cock up of a good opportunity there. But this is interesting. On the stats section of the One Football app, Everton, after 20 minutes, have made 33 passes. They're barely making a pass a minute. Chelsea have made 148, which is nearly 5 times more passes than them. But they've not had a shot on target yet. So Everton sort of doing that smash and grab at the moment, which is interesting. But download it, links in the video description. You can also vote for your man of the match in the second half, which I quite like. But let's just have a look. You can also go on to the games and predict the result. Now, the Manchester City-Manchester United game on the OneFootball app, this is how people have been voting, and there have been over 110,000 votes on this. I'm really surprised. 43% are voting that United will win, 6% are going with a draw, 51% with City. So it's nearly 50-50 between United and City winning on the OneFootball app. And I wouldn't put it at that. I'd say City are the favourites. They've got to be the favourites. I do think United will get a result, but I'd still say I would have thought people would be saying 70% at least for City. Chelsea on the attack here with Mount, but good tackle. It's gone for a throw-in. Tottenham, Burnley. I would say Tottenham will win that. And 90% are voting with a Tottenham win. So I would agree with that one. And Liverpool, Bournemouth, 95% going with the Liverpool win. I would agree with that. Links in the video description for that. OneFootball app, Apple and Android. I'm not doing a Joshua fight watch along because I'm not watching the fight after Khan. So you've asked it about 1 million times now. Please stop asking it. What pets do you have? Says Archie Laws. Cat and a dog. And in fact, Aftab, you can piss off. Loads of Liverpool fans wanting United to win. I wonder why. I think Liverpool have won this title already anyway, don't you? Does anybody seriously think that Liverpool are not going to win the league? How many points ahead are they now? 11? Mark, can you do a watch-along for Spurs versus Bayern? Says Govand98. It's an irrelevance, mate, because it's already sorted out, isn't it? That table is already sorted out. So I wouldn't really think that to me would massively appeal. Chelsea still having a lot of the ball in this game. I mean, we're looking at the Champions League tables as I am now. Real Madrid and PSG are through. Bayern Munich and Tottenham are through. Man City are through. Juventus and Atletico Madrid not quite through. Liverpool and Napoli and Salzburg not quite through yet. Barcelona, Inter and Dortmund, that's an interesting group. And the Chelsea group is interesting to a certain extent. I think Chelsea will get through. So looking at the fixtures for the week ahead and what games we might do. Tuesday, Liverpool are playing Salzburg at 6 o'clock. Might do that. We might do that. And Wednesday. Wednesday. Then Wednesday's not very exciting. It's all on Tuesday really. Dortmund and Inter's group is 8 o'clock. Chelsea's group is 8 o'clock, and Liverpool's group is at 6 o'clock. So Wednesday Champions League is a bit boring, to be absolutely honest with you. Mark, yeah, we've answered that. Everton very busy in this game. 23 minutes gone, 1-0 to Everton. They are fighting. Chelsea's certainly the better footballing team, but just not creating anything. And you can't have 80% possession and not create anything. But now there is an attack and they've won a corner. A few people are saying, when will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be sacked? I don't actually think that he will. I don't think that he will. Whether you want him to be or not, I don't think that he will. I think that he's going to be... the club and the players want him to stay. There's a certain level of United fan that doesn't, but the club and the players want him to stay. So I don't think that he will. I certainly think look, is there a result that could happen today that sacks Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I don't think so. I think even a 5-0, he'd probably stay, because that's how stupid the club are. Kian Roberts says favourite Home Alone film. For me, it's the first one. Yeah, the second one is good. It's one of the better sequels out there, but to me, it's still the first one. How are you watching the game? On the telly. Richarlison's down injured here at the moment, which would be a big blow for them. I think he's going to play on. He's just had a knock. Mark, what is your prediction for the United game, and what is your prediction for the boxing as well? Have a good day, bro, says Jay Singh. I think Joshua will win the boxing. And I know he lost last time, but I think he will. And in the United game, I'm going to go with a draw. And Joe G says, who from Everton would get in the United squad bench? Their left back, what's his name? Dean. He would get in. Left back would get in. I'm not sure any of their centre-backs would really, to be honest. Into the midfield, I'm not convinced any of their midfielders. Sigurdsson would get in because he's a better number 10 than anyone we've got. So I think Sigurdsson, the left back, and probably Richarlison. So they'd probably get 3 in, to be honest. I've seen the Grinch loads of times, General Maritime. My favourite player at United is Anthony Martial. I think that Martial might start today. I think he might be fit enough to start. Cross coming in from Chelsea there. Pickford's diving around like a bloody prat again. Willian with the cross. And he's an overactor, Pickford. The ball's nowhere near him, and he just does these silly little dives. Weird keeper. Tyler Jackson, do you think United will play 3 at the back today? I'd be very surprised if they did, but never say never. I do like Breaking Bad, A-Roho, and I've watched all of them, and I've watched that new film as well, which I didn't think was as bad as some people think, but I think it's a lesson in you should never go back. You know, if it's interesting because I quite like the Gavin and Stacey sitcom, and I'm looking forward to the Christmas special. But it's been 10 years, and I just think you shouldn't go back really. Oh, Chelsea playing it out from the back there. Everton's press nearly winning it in a dangerous position, but they don't. If you could take one player from Chelsea, who would it be? Says Pogba out. Well, let us know in the live comments. If you could take one player from Chelsea, who would it be? For me, it's very easy. It would be Kante to play in the CDM role, because that's what United need. Will we sign players in January if Ollie is sacked? Will we sign players in January if Ollie is sacked? Says Rudy Cox. Well, we will sign players in January because Ollie won't be sacked. If Ollie was sacked, would we sign players in January? No, because they'd do what they did last year, wouldn't they? And they'd say, oh, we know we haven't got our manager in yet, so we can save a bit of money. So, yeah, if you want to sign players in January, we will do. We will do. Kovacic. Most people are saying Kante in the live comments. Have you been watching any of the snooker this week, Mark? Says Jordan Such. I did watch a bit of the UK Championships, yes. But to be honest with you, this happens quite a lot, Jordan. I've lost interest because, and no disrespect, but the Chinese semi-final and Maguire against Mark Allen, they're just not players that I've got any interest in. So I won't be watching it this weekend. All my players that I like to watch have gone out. I don't know who knocked Neil Robertson out, but he's been brilliant this last year, so I expected him to go deep in it. Obviously Ronnie O'Sullivan got knocked out, Selby's been knocked out, John Higgins has been knocked out, Kyron Wilson's gone. So yeah, all the big hitters that I like to watch have gone out, and the people who are left in it I just don't find interesting. So I'll probably pick it up in the Scottish Open next week and hope that some people get to the final of that. I don't like Judd Trump. I find him boring. I just don't like Judd Trump. I've never liked him, and he is a United fan, I know, but I just don't like the guy. Chelsea still not had a shot on target, I don't think. Let's have a check. Half an hour in. Matches. Chelsea. Stats. It's still 80% possession for Chelsea. They've had 2 shots, but nothing on target. And I don't really remember their shots, to be honest with you. So Chelsea, loads and loads of the ball, but not able to really trouble... well, they had that cross, didn't they, there? But they're not able to trouble Everton at all at the moment. Remember, you can download the OneFootball app. The link is in the video description. It's on Apple and Android, and it is free. You can follow your clubs and get the latest news on there, and get all your stats in game, and vote for man of the match. My timer is accurate, but YouTube could be delaying us. I don't know. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Mark, City has a crap defence. We should win, says Rohan Goal. Look, Wolves went there and won. So there you go. Ivan Scannell says, do you like darts? I don't watch a lot of the darts, but I do watch it at Christmas because there's a couple of good tournaments at Christmas, isn't there? They have 2 disciplines, don't they? And they have the Worlds, one of them between Christmas and New Year, and then I think the other one has it at the start of January, so I do tend to watch that. But Everton leading 1-0, and they actually had a good chance with Richarlison a few minutes after that, which Kepa saved. Mark, I think Liverpool will act like they are unbeatable and will slip up towards the end of the season, says Joshua Healy. City plays a high line, our fast attackers will be really important, says Interpret Baines. I think there's no excuse for Manchester United not to get a result today. I really don't. You know, it's like Ollie's... I think some of Ollie's comments have been really interesting as well, because he's come out talking about how United are a bigger club than City, and you know, when he was there, he never got to play in a Manchester derby for years because they were in leagues below. He's talking about I don't want to spend hundreds of millions of pounds on people we're unsure of. It's like he's talking like we're 20 points clear. It's like he's talking like we're Liverpool, and not like we've had a shit season. He's had one good result, and he's talking like he's completed it, mate. And you know, like a lot of people wouldn't have us favourites for today. And Ollie's talking like everything's been sorted because we've won one result. And I think that, you know, I think we will get a result today, but I think we've got to be a bit careful as well about complacency. Do I think Arsenal will get relegated, says Tam Trainer? Absolutely not. I mean, this is something people were saying about United about a month ago, and that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Arsenal won't get relegated. United won't get relegated. And people will say, well, you know, never say never. You're never too good to go down. I accept that. But, you know, these clubs will not allow themselves to go down. It just won't happen. Yeah, United do play Everton next week. I don't think they're going to cause as many problems, to be honest with you. Oh, a lovely little cross there. And I think Tammy Abraham should be passing that one in. Mason Mount with the cross across the face of the 6-yard box. I expected Tammy Abraham at stretch to be putting this in. And as we watch it back again, it's a lovely cross. He's just a little bit short on it. It's a lovely cross. I just think it's just a little bit ahead of him. Do you think Ding Junai could win the UK Championship? Says Joel Morris. I think he's got a good chance. I think Mark Allen will win it, to be honest. And Jordan Such, would you say Theo Walcott has improved since he left Arsenal? No, I think Theo Walcott he's what Marcus Rashford could become if he's not careful. Like, he's a good player, but consistency's not there. Everyone thought Walcott was going to be a world beater, and he had a good career at Arsenal, but it was never consistent, and that's what Rashford needs to be careful of, because Rashford has this potential to be a world beater, like everyone thinks, but consistency is key. Walcott's had a half-decent career, but it could have been everyone. Bet for everyone, says Wolfie 35p. Mönchengladbach 3, Munich 2, 25-1. There you go. Liverpool will go invincible, says Luke Stewart. God, don't ruin Arsenal's season anymore. I mean, in relation to Liverpool being the Invincibles, I did a video on this a little while ago, probably about a month ago, and the game for me that would stop Liverpool being Invincibles is the Man City game at the Etihad. They've been to Old Trafford, they've been to Stamford Bridge. Who's going to beat Liverpool? And that's the thing. And Arsenal will celebrate it like winning the league. And that's another cross to Tammy Abraham. No power on it, and Pickford's out to catch it. I love trains. I've predicted a draw in the Manchester derby. Can't wait for it. Make sure you're all joining us on the United Stand for that watch along tonight. 4:30 we'll be going live. And we're sponsored by Just Eat. All I'm going to say is, if you like a takeaway, just keep yourself hungry for that stream, because we've got prizes, giveaways, all sorts of stuff going on. Did somebody say Just Eat? But I've even got the delivery bags and all sorts. So there'll be some of you getting a takeaway tonight, or just get yourself a takeaway anyway. I'm going to have one. It's part of the promotion that Goldbridge gets a Just Eat takeaway. Right, I'm getting a bit chilly. It's 35 minutes gone, and it's 1-0 to Everton, and you just feel at some point Chelsea are going to get a goal. We've got any Chelsea fans watching? Are you feeling a little bit nervous? Are you feeling nervous about it? I do feel that you will get a goal at some point. Barkley is warming up. Former Everton player, of course. But this would be a significant 3 points for Everton, who are actually in the bottom 3 at the moment. And looking at their next 2 fixtures, if you include today, they've got Chelsea and then they've got Man United at Old Trafford. And I think United will actually win that game. So it's probably quite important that they do get the win. Here is Walcott. Keeps it in for a throw-in. Please do subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get up to 106,000 subscribers. I can tell you we're on 105,691. So we need about 300 subscribers. So if you are new, please subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and get involved with the channel. We do a couple of watch-alongs a week. We've got FIFA streams, general football news. We're going to start Football Manager next week. So bottom right hand corner, please do subscribe. And if you have subscribed already, there's a share button and you can share the link on Twitter and Facebook, which would be appreciated. We're building another great community, and as I said, everybody is welcome here. It doesn't matter who you support, because I don't do United watch-alongs on here, which is the club I support, so it's everyone's welcome. Just get involved in the chat. When is the next Blood Brothers episode, says Elliot. I think it's going up on Wednesday, but it's not a United Stand game on Wednesday, so a bit boring. Mark Reed says Mark is the best YouTuber known to man. And there was a cross shot there from Pulisic that was blocked. And it wasn't Pulisic, it was Mason Mount. Power Painting says, Mark, what's your thoughts on Wan-Bissaka progressing offensively? I'm interested in your opinion. I think he's too stiff and awkward. I think Wan-Bissaka is, without question, a fantastic defensive right-back. And his stats prove that, not just at Manchester United, but also at Crystal Palace. Defensively, he's ridiculous. Going forward, there is an issue there. And a lot of United fans have tried to skirt that issue by saying, well, he started off as a right winger. Yeah, but Rio Ferdinand didn't start off as a centre-back. I think he started as a centre-forward. Could you imagine Rio Ferdinand playing up front? He just hasn't got the body for it. So Wan-Bissaka does look a little bit stiff going forward. And he does need to improve on that, because defensively, I think he's the best right back in the league. Offensively, he's probably not even in the top 10. Oh no, Walcott doesn't even appeal for that one. Forest drew with Millwall last night. 2-2. They got a goal in the 88th minute, and then Millwall equalised in injury time. Real Madrid are playing Espanyol at the moment. And they're winning 1-0 with a goal from Varane. Real Madrid always start the season off quite badly under Zidane. And they tend to finish it strong. I can't see Real Madrid winning the Champions League. And another lovely little bit of play there. And Everton have defended quite well there. But Chelsea is starting to turn the screw at the moment. Well played by Kovacic. Really well played by Kovacic. For me, I think if you've watched a bit of Chelsea this season, Kovacic has been fantastic. It was always Christmas time. Jesus came to play. I do believe in peace on earth, and I can watch TV all day. I do think Chelsea will get back into this. Do you think an English team will win the Champions League again, says Kean Roberts? Yes, I do, Kean. I really do. I think English football is the dominant force at the moment, and I do think that we will see another English winner. I mean, Liverpool could quite easily retain it. Sam A says, Mark, I'm excited. I'm on my way to the markets for a few drinks, then I'm off to the game. Come on, United. It's a lovely time of year, Sam, and I hope you enjoy it. And I've got a funny feeling United are going to get something today. I don't want this to turn into a little clip for later on tonight, but I'm pretty confident United are going to get a result tonight. I've just got this. I can't say too much, but I'm pretty sure United will not lose this game. We're going to get a result. I won £247 off Millwall game last night for a 2-2, says Wolfie, 35p. Well done, well done. Mark, what was your personality like as a teenager, says CC. Why are you thinking we should get a result? It's a derby, yes, but Man City are a far better team than us. Even if both teams play at their best, City will come out on top due to their quality, says Mahdi Mohammed, who's been punching the numbers through his computer, and that's what they're saying. Look, if Man City play to their best and Manchester United play to their best, we will get beat about 3-0. But I don't think Manchester United will allow Manchester City to play to their best. I don't even think United will play to their best. I think what you'll see, and Richarlison's just picked up a yellow card here, even though he did get the ball. Ridiculous. I think that it'll, because it's a derby, neither team will play to their best. I think United can frustrate Manchester City by playing deep and then hitting them on the break. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's I want Ole to succeed, but he's only got one plan, and it's plan A. And that is sit back and hit teams on the break, which is the perfect tactic against Manchester City. And let's not forget, Man City are vulnerable this year. They're not sweeping everybody aside. They've conceded only one less goal than we have. They've lost to Norwich. They've lost to bloody Wolves at home. They've lost to Wolves at home. They're drawing against Newcastle. So they're vulnerable and they can be got at. Tobias Gronfold says, what about signing Walcott, Mark? No. JT Music says, don't be overconfident. Look, anything can happen, but I think it's a symbolic game for United today. Tammy Abraham's on the attack here. Into Willian. Why does Willian always take a touch in the box? Just get the bloody shot off, mate. I've seen Willian 3 times in this game get the ball in the box, and he always takes a touch. It's infuriating. You learn this as a kid. If you get the ball in the box, always try to do something with it with your first touch, unless you're definitely sure you've got space, because ball in the box, you're probably going to be marked. Trying to be too cute there. Trying to be too cute. But yeah, I think this is a symbolic game for Manchester United in the derby today, because we've had so many stop-starts. Go back to the opening game of the season where we beat Chelsea 4-0. And a lot of us were like, maybe, we can get top 4. And then you go away to Wolves and draw. Then you get beat by Palace. Then you draw with Southampton. And then suddenly you're like, this is not going to be a good season. Then you get a win here, but then you lose there. Our season's been stop-start. And stop-start's okay if you're going to build something for the future. Supposedly, we are building something for the future. But at some point, that future has got to start happening. And I just don't think we can have another good result against Spurs and then go and get beat again. And then probably beat Everton and then maybe draw at Watford. We can't keep doing that. A lot of United fans want Ole gone. A lot of them want him to do well. But I think now is the time where it's got to start happening. And you know what? There's no excuse for a team like Manchester United to say, well, we can't beat Man City. That you beat Spurs, you get a result against City, you go and beat Everton and Watford, and then suddenly you are doing that consistency word. So I think today is massive. But I think if we lose today, that's our 5th loss of the season, and it's not even Christmas. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. Jonathan Gallagher says, boy was a fool to think we will do well when we beat Chelsea. Well, look, I remember that game against Chelsea on the opening day, and United have been living off that 4-0 all season, because that 4 goals is basically why when we're level on points with people, we're normally above them, because that 4 goals against Chelsea. So we've been living off it all season. But anybody who watched that game already knows that United could have lost that game. And it's ridiculous when you win 4-0. And we did deserve to win, because there's no doubt that our 4 goals were legit. But Chelsea could have been 2-0 up at half-time. Chelsea were the better team. They played the better football. But it's similar to this game here. Chelsea have had 80% possession, but they're 1-0 down, legit. So anybody who watched that Chelsea game knows that United, it went their way. But I think my thought was, well, as long as you know that, then you take the confidence from it. Al Hendo says, I've got a feeling Bournemouth could take something off Liverpool today. We'll be going live on the United Stand at 4:30 today, so if you want to catch the end of the sort of 3 o'clock kickoffs, we'll be covering that as well. Chelsea's better than Everton, says Somali Flame. Well, they are. They're a better team, but at the moment they're not. Mahrez will scare Young, says Haunted Radio. Well, that's if Mahrez plays. Surely he'll play Bernardo Silva, Sterling and Jesus as their front 3. I don't know. I think Bernardo Silva's the bigger threat. The way I envisage the derby going is that City will have loads and loads of the ball. They'll probably have 70% of possession. We will frustrate them, and we will create as many chances as they do by hitting them on the break with their weak defence. That's what I think is going to happen. This game's very intriguing though. We're about to hit half time, and I just think if Everton could get a second goal, which they look capable of doing on the break. Oh, that's crap play from Everton there. How's Abraham playing, says Restores. He's doing all right. He's just been a little bit starved of a chance yet. I mean, Chelsea haven't had that golden opportunity in the game so far, and I think that's been their struggling point. I've got my Adidas United Stand tracksuit bottoms on. I've been doing some football practice this morning. Still got the moves. I've seen a lot of people going for Man City to beat United 3-1. I suppose it's quite a predictable score. It was always Christmas. Nigel Pearson as Watford manager. Let's talk about that at half-time as well. Give me some good topical topics to talk about at half-time, because it is half-time. It is Chelsea, who are not winning at the moment. And I'm intrigued to see what topics you want to talk about. But in relation to this game, I think that the better team has been Chelsea with regards to the movement of the ball. But in the final third, they've been somewhat lacking. It was always Christmas time. Jesus came to stay. I've got that song in my head now. So yeah, just very, very quickly on Nigel Pearson to Watford. 3rd Watford manager of the season. I don't think he's going to be the last. I think they'll have another one. I just think that Watford deserve to go down because they pressed the button way, way too soon. I'm intrigued to see how Nigel Pearson does. But can I just say that Chico Flores, who had managed Watford before, was ridiculously unlucky. The Southampton game, I think they were 1-0 up and there was a goal they could have got and they would have won that game, and he gets the sack. So on top of that, I think they were very unlucky at Spurs. They could have won that game, and they've been unlucky a few times under Chico Flores, and I think they should have stuck with him because Watford were definitely better than they were under the first manager. But they've pressed the button again too early, and I think Nigel Pearson, Watford are a team that shouldn't be going down, but I'm not. I've just seen something on the telly. I'd love someone to explain me this in the live comments. What is Guinness Clear? Is it water or is it an alcoholic drink? And if it is an alcoholic drink, does it taste the same as Guinness? What is Guinness Clear? Answers on the live comments. But yeah, I think Watford deserve to go down because of how they're run. PMV Patrick, thanks for the contribution. Thoughts on how tight the Bundesliga is, says Casual Lads FC. I still think Bayern Munich will win it. I don't get excited. Rangers Celtic tomorrow. Predictions, says Matthew Glenn. Celtic, I would imagine. I don't even know how. I've not paid. I haven't paid any attention to Scottish football for about 7 years. Since they kicked Rangers out of the league, I just stopped taking any interest. Thoughts on everyone's mind? Who won living room football? Says Al Hendo. Well, this is a cult thing that everyone's not going to understand. So, yesterday was our first living room cup semi-final, and it was Brighton against Arsenal, and it finished 3-3. So it's going to be a replay. Mark, would you take Tielemans over Maddison so Pogba can play in the number 10 position? Says Jaden Garners. Well, Pogba won't be here next season, so. Guinness Clear is water, says Oliver Edwards. Right. Okay. It's a marketing gimmick then, is it? Because I've seen it before. And First Pint Refreshment says Guinness Clear is a hoax to stop the Irish getting pissed. There you go. I was going to say, because you cannot replicate Guinness as a clear thing. And why would you? It's to make you drink a pint of water when you're out on a night out, isn't it? To be honest. Which is always good for you, because it helps with the dehydration process. And it's an ad. Jack Kirkland says, Guinness Clear isn't a real thing. It's an ad for drinking in moderation. There you go. I'll drink to that. It's water. It's Guinness Clear. City should smash United, says Sabam. Okay, let's talk about the derby for a little bit then. Just in relation to that game, Chelsea, let's have a look. One Football app. Please do give it a download and support the channel. It's free to download it, and it does help the channel if people download it, because they'll sponsor us again, which means we'll do more shows. The link is in the video description. It is free. I use it a lot as well. I just follow Manchester United, but let's have a look at the latest news for my team. So there you go. You can follow Manchester United and you get all your latest news on United. You can follow other clubs if you want. It's got a bit of an update from Tevez. It is very good. It's very accurate. But let me go to the matches, because in the matches section, this is where you get all your stats. Everton leading 1-0. Statistics are 75% possession for Chelsea, which is massive for an away team. They've passers wise, they've made 350 to Everton's 112. That's ridiculous. That's more than 3 times the amount of passing that Everton have done, and they're the home team, Everton. Shots wise, it is 4 shots each, but Chelsea have only had 1 on target to Everton's 2, and Everton lead 1-0. Links in the video description. Give that a download. And in the second half, the good thing is you can actually start voting for your man of the match as soon as the second half starts. So we'll be doing that as well. But yeah, I do think Chelsea will come back into this game, even though they're 1-0 down at half time. I still fancy them to get back into it. With regards to the Manchester derby, and very quickly the other Premier League fixtures. The key Premier League fixtures this Saturday, the 7th of December. Manchester derby, of course, we'll talk about that in a moment. I want to get a lot of yours predictions on it and how you think it's going to go, whether you're confident or not. Bournemouth against Liverpool at 3 o'clock. I mean, Bournemouth are they're not even mid-table at the moment. I don't know whether you've looked at the Premier League for a while, but Everton have got 14 points. And then in 9th place, you've got Sheffield United with 19 points. So only 5 points separates third from bottom Everton to being 9th in the league. And Bournemouth are on 16 points. So if they lost today, Everton would go above them if they were to win. So there's an opportunity for Bournemouth to go into the bottom of half of the bottom 3. I don't think Bournemouth have got the quality to beat Liverpool. I think Liverpool will win that. But some people seem to think that Bournemouth might get something. United beat Bournemouth, but we had a really bad day and we only lost 1-0. Bournemouth don't score many goals, and I think they've got conceding goals in them. Tottenham, Burnley. A lot of people going with the Tottenham winning that, and I would expect Tottenham to win it, but Burnley got beat well in the week, and it wouldn't surprise me if Burnley went and frustrated Tottenham and got a point. Watford against Crystal Palace, and again, another new manager for Watford. Crystal Palace are actually doing really, really well at the moment. They're the away team to Watford. Crystal Palace are in 7th and actually could go as high as 5th if they won today. So, but Watford need a result. And will Watford finally get what they wanted to get when they sacked their first manager this season? Remember, they're on manager number 3. Will they get the bounce? I think they're going to get the bounce today. I think they will. And for people talking about bouncers, we've got more bouncers than a beach ball at the moment, haven't we? And when we say bounce, we're talking about when a club sacks a manager, you traditionally get a bounce. Pochettino gets sacked, Mourinho wins his first 2 or 3. He has lost now, United. Everton sacked their manager, they're 1-0 up at half time. Bounce. Watford sacked their manager and kept losing, so they sacked him again, and now they're looking for a bounce. Arsenal sacked their manager, took 1 point from Brighton and Norwich. No bounce. So the advantage of sacking your manager is normally you get a bounce because the players want to prove that they're not the problem. Hasn't worked that way for Arsenal. But it could work for Watford today, so I think they might get a draw. Manchester Derby. My predictions for the Manchester Derby, I'm going to go with a draw. As I said, some might say this is wishful thinking, but I think with Manchester United now, if we'd have drawn with Spurs and lost today, Ollie was going to be sacked on Monday. If we'd have lost to Spurs and lost to City, he was going to be sacked on Monday. Winning that game against Spurs has given him it's kept him in a job. Losing tonight won't kick him out of a job. So for me, there has to be something got today. We're keeping Ollie as our manager because he beat Spurs. I tell you now, if he'd drawn with Spurs and lost today, he was gone. Not lose to Spurs and lose today. Draw with Spurs on Wednesday, lose today, he was gone Monday morning. So he's now going to stay in the job. As a United fan, we need to accept that, but we need to build that. And we can't, Ollie's staying in a job, he's lost again. It's a Manchester derby. As I said, if Wolves can go to the Etihad and beat them, Manchester United can go to the Etihad and beat them because it matters more. It's more of a leveller. Wolves going to the Etihad, Man City expected to win. United going to the Etihad, Manchester derby. It's a leveller. It's a cliche. So we've got to go and get something today. I'm going to go with a draw. I wouldn't be surprised if we won. I don't expect us to lose. And that's my mentality going into this because these players annoy me. I said it after the results against Spurs on Wednesday. They piss me off because I know that they can draw with Liverpool, draw with Arsenal, beat Spurs, beat Chelsea, beat Leicester. That's what we've done this season. They're all good results. But we also know they can lose to West Ham and Newcastle and Palace at home. So they've got to find this consistency now, and it's no excuse not to have it. And we tend to do well in the bigger games. So we got to win today or get a draw today. And that's what I'm expecting. Norwich beat them as well, Leon Bentley. Look, Manchester City, I don't want Liverpool to win the league. I really don't want Liverpool to win the league. But they are going to win the league. And they're going to win the league because Manchester City will drop more points even from today. If you put Liverpool and Man City on the same points today, Liverpool would still win the league. Because Man City, mentally, are weak. They're weak this season. On their day, they're still one of the best teams in the world, but they are capable of dropping points. Last week against Newcastle, how does Man City draw with Newcastle? Norwich away, how do you get beat by Norwich away? And, even Arsenal didn't get beat by Norwich away. We smashed Norwich away. So, Wolves coming to your place and beating you. City are a very good team, but they're ridiculously vulnerable. And I think United have got to get something today. I really, really do. Talking about getting something, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We are trying to get up to 506,000 subscribers. You can subscribe by subscribing with the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. If everyone does it now, we'd smash through it. Everybody click the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner if you haven't subscribed. If you have subscribed, please do a share spree. Just click the share button under the link under the video, share it on Twitter and Facebook. If you could do that over the next few seconds, that would be great. We're really growing a fantastic new community on here. I do the United Stand. That's a Manchester United fan channel. That's Football's for everybody. Join the conversation, get involved. Doesn't matter who you support. I'm sure we've got some Chelsea and Everton fans who are a little bit nervous, but for the rest of us, we're just watching a game that we would normally watch, interacting, and that's what That's Football is all about. And I am starting Football Manager next week, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And on the run up to Christmas, a bit of Football Manager, interactive and live as ever, so that will be starting next week. Kovacic and Pulisic look world class. Opinion, says Josh Richardson. Well, I mean, I've not been that impressed with Chelsea's front three today. I think they've had a lot of possession, and actually front four. I think Willian's been poor. He's taken so many touches in the box when he should have been getting a shot off. Tammy Abraham has been lacking service. Pulisic has been a little bit quiet. Mason Mount's probably been the best of the front four because he has created a couple of good crosses. But I think Kante and Kovacic. I mean, Kovacic for me, he won't get the credit because he doesn't tick enough boxes to get the credit. But he's been one of the players of the season so far. He's been really, really good. A few people saying combined 11 for the derby. Look, I can't think of a United player that gets in. Ederson gets in over De Gea at the moment. I think De Gea's the better goalkeeper, but if we're going on form, Ederson gets in. Right back, if we're going on form, you've got to go with City's right back over Wan-Bissaka because Wan-Bissaka is defensively good but offers nothing going forward, and I do want my fullback to offer something going forward, to be honest with you. Centre backs, I'd put Harry Maguire in there. I would put Harry Maguire in there, and I don't think Harry Maguire's had an amazing season, but I still think he's been better. He's better than John Stones. If we are going to play people who are injured, which we shouldn't do because we're talking about form, but if we were, I would put Laporte in there, or Laporte. If we're not, I would probably put, I don't know, Maguire and Otamendi. I don't know. I don't rate John Stones. Left back is Mendy, without a shadow of a doubt. Midfield three, well, we haven't got I mean, McTominay is good, but he ain't Fernandinho, and he ain't Rodri. But I'd go Fernandinho. De Bruyne obviously gets in there, and I mean, if Pogba's fit, I would put Pogba in there. If Pogba's not fit, it's got to be David Silva. And front three, Aguero if he's fit, Sterling off the left, and Bernardo Silva off the right. You know, I think United have got good players, but they haven't got players that are that good. So the only place United really could make a statement would be in the back five. The front six, it's all City, isn't it? And it has to be because they're going for 3 Premier League titles in a row, which they're not going to get. But yeah, interesting. Combined 11 for Chelsea and Everton, says Antonio Harvey. Well, what Everton players get in a Chelsea team? The Everton left back gets in. I think it's close between the keepers. I'm not a big fan of Kepa, and I'm not a massive fan of Pickford. So yeah, I'd put the Everton left back in. Would any Everton centre back get in? Not so sure. Their right back wouldn't get in. Any Everton midfielders in a Chelsea midfield? For me, no. I'd go with the Chelsea lads. We're just about to kick off the second half now. And front three, I'd stick with the Chelsea lads as well. So for me, the only player that gets in is probably the Everton left back. But when they get that lad back from the Ivory Coast, Everton, I think he will make a big difference. I think he's been a big loss. Unheard Gull 13 says, do you think Rashford can make the difference in the game this evening? I think Rashford is the informed striker at the moment, and I think I was talking to somebody this morning who's a Villa fan, and I was saying, like, realistically, were you happy with the points at Old Trafford? And they said, yeah. They said it could have gone either way, but you know, you've got to be happy with a point. And then we were talking about the Spurs game, and I said, I just cannot understand. I think Jose Mourinho underestimated United and played right into our hands. I could not believe how many times Marcus Rashford got to turn and run at their defence. I think he'll be able to do that against Man City because they're not a defensive side. But I was very surprised that Mourinho, who's coached Rashford, and if you watch United in the first 3 months, if I was managing a team against Manchester United at the moment, I would say when Marcus Rashford gets the ball, get tight on him if he's got his back to goal, and if he hasn't got the ball, I want a couple of players around him so that he can't get the ball and turn and run. You know, you double up on Rashford basically. You deprive him of space. Dylan Western says Man City are 3-10 on to win. It's going to be a very interesting game. I can tell you how it's going to go. I think we all know how it's going to go. Man City are going to have loads of the ball. United are going to have to move that ball quickly and hit them on the break. I can see there being VAR. That's my early prediction. I can see there being some VAR in that. Dodgy penalty maybe a red card or something like that. And hopefully it'll benefit United, because it might not exclusively go to Man City, because Man City's defence is ragged, and I think if you can run at it, you got Dan James, maybe Martial, certainly Rashford, we can cause them some problems. Where do I end up? Simon says, Mark, where do you honestly believe Jadon Sancho will end up and when? I don't think it's impossible for Jadon Sancho to leave Bayern Dortmund. That would be a good team. Borussia Dortmund in January. I don't know when was the last game. Whether I don't keep an eye on the Bundesliga, so I don't know whether he's been frozen out or whether he is actually playing games for Dortmund at the moment. I'll have a look at that. But I would predict that he will go in the summer, and I would predict he will go to Chelsea or Liverpool, because I do not see Manchester United getting Champions League football, and I think that is surely going to be the well, he's not starting this afternoon. Oh no, he might be starting because he's not on the bench. Well, that's interesting, because Dortmund have named their subs, of which Goetz is one and Wiegel's one. So I think he might actually be starting. They beat Hertha Berlin last week, and he started. So he's not been frozen out. It's 2-0 to Everton. Every time I look down on my phone, we miss a goal. And Calvert-Lewin goes up. Zuma makes the mistake. Let's watch this back. It's a boot up in the air by Zuma. Calvert-Lewin goes up. It drops to him. He scores. I don't know whether VAR might say that's not a goal because of the foul on Christensen, but it looks like it's going to stand. Duncan Ferguson's happy. Literally within the first few minutes of the goal again, of the start of the game again, and Everton have got their goal. And referee is going to check, I think. There could be a VAR moment here. I would be opposed to this being a VAR hold-up. No, goal given. 2-0. There we go. Good, quick use of VAR there. And it's 2-0 to Everton. And Duncan Ferguson now. This is the bounce you're talking about. A bounce isn't always about, oh, they suddenly start playing like prime Barcelona. The bounce can just be you get the result. And I think this is the prime example of a bounce of changing your manager. Chelsea have had so much of the ball today, but Everton have fought hard and they haven't really gifted many opportunities despite Chelsea having a lot of the ball. And when they've had their opportunities, they've been determined to take them. And I think that is what a bounce is. And for Everton, this would be a huge result. And Chelsea are starting to do what I thought they would do. I thought their start to the season was brilliant, but I just felt that fatigue at some point would start to hurt Chelsea, and they've got a massive game on Wednesday, and I think Chelsea fans will be saying, good shots, oh, Kepa nearly spilt it, could have been 3-0. Chelsea fans will be saying, why has he picked the same 11 again that he played midweek when we've got a big game against Lille midweek as well? But it's 2-0 to Everton. And apologies, I did miss the second goal because I was too busy answering a question about Jadon Sancho. It's not like I'm doing my online banking. I was actually looking at something about a question which we'll come back to. But this game is lit now because Chelsea do need a quick goal. Thanks, says Dylan Lee. And Krista says, I think Chelsea are going to lose their momentum just like Spurs. But they're on the attack. Willian didn't quite get it. A goal! I don't know whether it'll be given. Kovacic, it's a cracking goal. It's a cracking goal, but I think Pickford's going to say there's interference from here. Lovely finish by Kovacic. I'm not convinced this will be given. I'm not convinced this will be given because I think that there might be interference in front of Pickford if there is an offside. Tammy Abraham, I don't think he's offside. I don't think he's offside. It's a lovely finish by Kovacic from a long, long way out. Pickford definitely can't see because of Tammy Abraham, but I don't think they get out quick enough for it to be offside. I'm not changing the score yet. Kovacic again, you see. It's a goal. It's a goal. 2-1. There we go. And that's exactly what Chelsea needed to reply. They needed that goal desperately. And it's 2-1. It's a little bit unfortunate for Everton because Tammy Abraham is in the line of Pickford, so he can't do anything about it. But he's onside when he's in the line. The Everton defence didn't get out quick enough, and Tammy Abraham was actually onside. So it's 2-1, and this another good watch along picked for That's Football. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're getting loads of entertainment, but I still feel that Chelsea can get back into this. Where are we going, people? What are we going to predict? I low key think this could be 3-2 to Chelsea. I do. Time has gone. There we go. Please subscribe if you're new. We've got nearly 4,000 people watching. Again, that's because we do good watch-alongs on this channel. We have good chat. I will be talking about that Jadon Sancho and where I think he'll go in a moment. But this next few minutes, we've only... Well, it's 2-1. There's 35 minutes to go. I think I'm going to go 3-2 Chelsea. I just think Chelsea's domination of the ball will be key in the last 20 minutes. But Kovacic, that finish, has got no right to score from there. And he sort of guides it in from 30 yards plus. Lovely. Thanks for everything, Mark. I've been depressed. You keep me going. Good to feel part of something. So Dylan Lee. Thanks, Dylan, and you are part of something. It is still 2-1, as Luca says. I think a lot of people are just predicting the final score because I said it will be 3-2 to Chelsea. So I think a lot of people are just chucking in 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. So there's not been another goal. It's 2-1. I think people are just reacting to me saying that Chelsea will win it 3-2. And Robert says, I think Everton will win 3-1. Well, Everton just need to keep at it. I think there's a definite quality gap between the two teams. I think we can all agree on that. But Everton today, unlike under Marco Silva, have shown real determination and grit. And, you know, they'd be disappointed. But this is the nature of the league, isn't it? You know, you sack your manager, you're 2-0 up, and... You're still not out of jail yet, and if they were to go on and lose this game, that's weak defensively. Sidibe, Calvert-Lewin, and wide from Schneiderlin, and it was actually Kovacic who made the mistake here. He gets knocked off the ball by the Everton player. And it wasn't a foul, and it could have been a costly error. Lampard out. He'll get a result here, don't worry. Right, you can download the OneFootball app, the sponsor in the show. The link's in the video description. It's free. It's on Apple and it's on Android. I'm just going to go to the match section. You can start voting for your man of the match as well on the OneFootball app. You can do that in the second half. And I can tell you at the moment, Richarlison has got the most votes, which for me, well, I'm going to put my vote in for Kovacic at the moment. So get on there and vote yours. I don't think it should be Richarlison. But he is winning at the moment, and I can tell you that he's not even. He's in 4th place, Kovacic. 2nd place, Tammy Abraham. 3rd place, Christian Pulisic. And Richarlison is out in front at the moment. But that can change a lot in the second half. I say get on there and vote Kovacic. We've got a corner here for Chelsea, and I'm just going to have a look at the stats for you as well. Possession is dropping a little bit for Chelsea, but it's still a massive 74% possession. And shots on goal, Everton have had 4 shots on target to Chelsea's 2. But Everton's passing is barely gone up in 15 minutes in the second half. At half time, Everton had made 132 passes. 60 minutes gone. Oh, Walcott's through. Can he get into the space? He needs a pass. What a shot. Good save by Kepa. I think Walcott did the right thing there. He was a bit too wide to cross it, so he shot and Kepa made the save. But 140 passes Everton have made in the game that's 60 minutes old. Chelsea have made 401. They're nearly 4 times more passes. And it really is, from Everton, a backs to the wall, hit on the break performance. It's basically what United are going to do against Man City. Loads of the ball for Chelsea, but they're losing 2-1. And this is why I think United can get a result against City, because there's no doubting that Chelsea are the better footballing side today, but they're losing 2-1 because Everton have just soaked up that pressure and hit them on the break with the space. Eddie Martin says, I want both these unlikable teams to lose. Must be a Liverpool fan, because I don't know. I've always found Everton quite a nice team to watch. Zach Teller says, next superstar signing for United. So I'll just finish what I was going to say. And My Secret Video says, there's too many fickle fans wanting managers out. It's just it's the modern nature of football, to be honest, mate. You know, managers. I wonder where we'll be in 10 years with managers, because, you know, you barely get a year now. You do barely get a year now. But going back to what I was saying about Jadon Sancho before Everton scored that second goal, I do think that Sancho will stay till the summer at Dortmund, and I believe he's starting in their game that's going to kick off at 2:30, and he started in their last game, so I don't see him going in January. When he moves in the summer, which I think he will do, and I wouldn't count out him going to Spain or PSG or something like that, but I do think he'll come to the Premier League, and I think he'll go to Liverpool or Chelsea, because I don't see him going back to Man City, and I don't see him coming to United if we don't get Champions League football, and he's not going to go to Arsenal, so I think it will be Liverpool or Chelsea for Jadon Sancho. I think United fans are absolutely convinced, some of them, we get some with Rashford and Lingard. Well, I think he's going to put his career ahead of his mates, and I think he ain't going to want to play Europa League football at an unstable club, and I think United will still be an unstable club next season. I don't see United being in the Champions League. But one team who does want to be in the Champions League is Chelsea, and they need to keep that buffer between themselves and the chasing pack. And to do that, you need to be going to Everton and getting a result. And I still think that they will. With half an hour to go, it's 2-1. Chelsea have just won a free kick here, out on the right-hand side. Cheese McQueen says Sancho wouldn't go to Liverpool. He wouldn't be starting over any of their front three. Well, you know, some players are ambitious and back themselves to do that. And obviously Mane, Salah and Firmino at the moment are arguably the 3 best attackers in world football. But Jadon Sancho isn't even 20 yet and might think, you know what, I will move one of those players out over my first 2 years, and then I'll be one of the best 3 players in the world. And Walcott here up against Kante for pace, and this is what they're doing on the break. And that's just brilliant defensive play by Kante. Went with Walcott for pace and then tackled him. Who are the goal scorers, Mark? Says Drastic Dardis. Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and then Sancho. I can't see Chelsea losing this game. There's just so long to go, and there's such an intensity. I think Everton need to have something on the break because Chelsea are just going to keep going with their possession. Oh, Kovacic again. Driving through the midfield and getting a shot off. He's fantastic, isn't he, Kovacic? I really, really rate him. Overboom says Everton need a new goalkeeper. Pickford's a bit of a divider, isn't he? I don't rate Pickford that much. And it's not just because he handed that goal to Liverpool this time last year. I just don't rate him that much. What a ball that was. Oh, and he's put it wide. Mason Mount. Lovely ball over the top. Found Kante. For some reason, Kante didn't go forward with it. He laid it off to Mason Mount. I think Kante... Well, it's just a brilliant takedown by Kante. Lays it off to Mount in the box and he puts it wide. And really, he should be scoring. He should have scored. Omar says that Haaland has a 36 million release clause. Thoughts? I thought that was a myth. Though, to be honest. I didn't know whether that was true. I'm going to do a bit of research into that. When is this Chelsea equaliser going to come? Well, the cross came in there from Aspilicueta. It won't be coming there. Please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We're getting close to 106,000. That's when that number will change. Get involved. Really good stream again. Another good game picked out again. I think our next one's probably going to be Tuesday night for the Champions League, although I haven't totally ruled out doing West Ham Arsenal Monday night. We will see. Babak Academy says, Mark, you're at work. Get off the phone. 1, I'm not at work. I'm watching a football game. And 2, I'm on my phone looking at football stuff. So sit down. And Riaz Barner says, going off what we saw against Tottenham, do you think United could still get top 4? I don't think United will get top 4. I really don't. But what I would say is, if they want to get top 4, they've got to win today. Because if Chelsea lose, then that's leaving the door open, isn't it? That's a right dive by Richarlison. That's a terrible dive, isn't it? On Zuma there, trying to get him booked. There's no contact. Disgusting behaviour. I am confident for the derby, Curtis, because I just believe that United have got to start producing the goods in these sort of games. So I am confident. And Abdallah Alamani says the top 4 will stay the same with the same clubs. Let me just have a look at that, actually, because I do think that one thing I was looking at the other day, which was really interesting, was the Premier League fixtures over Christmas is just ridiculous, because there's games every couple of days, and you've got to use your squad. I remember when I used to play Fantasy Premier League, and it is a nightmare over Christmas because you just don't know who's going to get dropped and rested, where and who and whatever. But Chelsea next week are home to Bournemouth, so if they were to lose today, there's an opportunity to win and bounce back against them. And then their next game is away to Tottenham, which is a massive game. And they, if Mourinho is to win that, it's not what I'm saying is it's not inconceivable for Chelsea to be, not in the top 4 on Boxing Day. Chelsea have dropped points at Stamford Bridge. They got beaten by West Ham. They drew against Sheffield United. There's some right diving going on here. So Chelsea, they've got to be a little bit careful. And then over Christmas on Boxing Day, Chelsea are at home to Southampton, so they'd fancy themselves there. And then 2 days after that, or 3 days after that, they're playing Arsenal on Sunday the 29th. So it's an interesting month for Chelsea. And I think from Chelsea's point of view, if they can come out of the month of December with a 6-point gap from everybody else below them, then that would be a good month. But it can change around quickly. Jordan Such says, who tops Group F at Euro 2020? France, Germany or Portugal? I'd say France. It's going to be good. We'll be doing the watch-alongs on this channel. I'd say France. I would say France, actually. I don't know how good Germany are. I thought they were crap. Davies is coming on for Richarlison. And Hudson-Odoi is about to come on for Chelsea for Willian, who I think has been low-key crap. Hayden Bailey, just for you, I'm going to Google that thing. And it can just be our little private joke. He says I look like somebody. I'm not going to tell all you lot. Don't look anything like him. You cheeky get. I did quite fancy Portugal to win the Euros, but I think it's going to be very difficult because they're in a very difficult group, and then if you come second in that group, you're going to play England probably. So it's going to be a very competitive Euros. Again, I think the seeding's a bit funny, isn't it? Good cross. Oh, I thought it was going to drop to Walcott on the back post. Davies went for it, and it didn't drop down. It dropped into the hands of Kepa. So it remains 2-1 to Everton with 20 minutes to go. I still think Chelsea will get something from this game. some tasty. I tell you what, it's been a very competitive game, and I think that's certainly coming from Duncan Ferguson. It's like, you know what, if we're going to lose games, we're going to lose games, but you have got to be competitive. And Everton have been very aggressive in this game, and Chelsea have as well. And I think that's made for a, we don't always get that in the modern game. Harshit thinks that next summer will be massive in the transfer window as well, because Mbappe and Neymar and Sancho will all be moving. I don't know. I think that a transfer window is always a difficult transfer window when you've got a major tournament going off. And Cheese McQueen says you can finish third in your group in the Euros and still go through. Can you? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Fitness and Scripted Sharath Kamath is in the house. How's it going, Mark? He says, I'm going very well. I hope you are. Big day for us United fans today. You look like the X Factor. I do not look like the X Factor host, Dan. Leighton Baines is going to come on. He looks like Gary Neville. He's really aged. And do you think Emre Can would be a good signing for United? Says Daz of Peace and Love. I think Emre Can would be a good signing for any Premier League club, but apparently United are definitely not going to sign him. So God knows who the midfielder is we're going for, because if we're not going for him, we better not be going for Sean Longstaff. Tammy Abraham's gone down clutching his hip here. And remember, I think he injured his hip before. He just got sandwiched, that's why, by Pickford and Keane. He's down off the pitch at the moment, so Everton will probably play on because he's off the pitch. Please subscribe if you're new. Hope you're enjoying it. We've got over 4,000 people watching, and I just want to say, did somebody say Just Eat? Because we're sponsored by Just Eat on the United stand. We'll be live from about 4:30. We've got giveaways and all sorts. It's Saturday night. Get your takeaway with them, and but don't order it until it's the United stand is live, because you might be getting some special prizes. So join us for that. But it's a massive game anyway, so just join us for that anyway. Lucas said poor Tammy. I thought he said poor Tranny. I was trying to think, who's the Tranny then? They're all men as far as we know. But yeah, massive game. Manchester United, Manchester City, Manchester Derby. I'm confident. A lot of United fans are confident, and I think that's because we know we need to be. We need to get something out of this game. It can't just be another false dawn. Ian Logan says, do you think United should sign Richarlison? Richarlison, to me, is not a player that impresses me enough to make me think I would bring him to Manchester United. The 4 best third place teams go through, Mark, says Joshua Pereira. Oh, God, so they're basically just creating another round then, aren't they? Because it used to be the last 8. So I presume there's a last 16 now. There must be 6 groups. 15 minutes to go. Thanks, Snaps. Stephen Merchant. I don't think my dog even looks like Stephen Merchant. And free kick here for Chelsea in a relatively good position on Pulisic. Harshit says, should Dean Henderson be England's number 1 at the Euros? I think England do need a goalkeeper that's of a better quality than Jordan Pickford. Actually, that was a foul for Everton. So, have you changed your opinion? When Chelsea went to 2-1 and there was about 35 minutes to go, I fancied Chelsea to win this 3-2. We're now 15 minutes to go and it's still 2-1. I'm not so sure Chelsea are going to win it now. You never know. You never know. Apparently Liverpool have made some changes for their game tonight. So let's have a look at, or this afternoon, because that is the day. It is this afternoon. I think this is Liverpool's last game before they jet off for the internationals, isn't it? So Liverpool team away to Bournemouth. They've got Alisson, Gomez, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robertson, Milner, Henderson and Keita, Salah, Firmino and Oxlade-Chamberlain. So Mane is on the bench. Fabinho's obviously injured, isn't he? And no, Wijnaldum's not even part of that squad. Spurs team, if you're interested: Gazzaniga, Aurier, Davinson Sanchez, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Dyer, Sissoko, Son, Ali, Lucas and Kane. So it's pretty much the same team that he played against United, apart from Harry Winks must be injured because he's not even on the bench, and he's playing Eric Dyer in that role. Any other interesting games? Nah, we'll just leave it at that. Come on, Everton, please, says Timeless Soul. It matters. It matters to people. Here we are on That's Football, just having a bit of a chat, enjoying a game of football. But there are Everton fans out there pleading for 3 points. And a decent shot there from Christensen. It goes wide. But, you know, Pickford must be an infuriating goalkeeper if you're an Everton fan, because that's always going wide. But he dives like it's going in the bottom corner. He dives when crosses are going nowhere near the goal. He's just an overactor goalkeeper, Pickford, and he would irritate the life out of me if he was in goal for United. Chelsea versus Man City tomorrow. That's going some for Chelsea. It must be women's football. Chelsea here. Mason Mount. He's done well. Good skill. Couldn't find the pass. If Everton could get a third goal, it would kill this game with 10 minutes to go. But Chelsea. Keep coming forward. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Remember, the OneFootball app is free. It's available. It's on the link in the video description. It's on Apple and Android. I can tell you it's 2-1 in this game. We know that. Richarlison is still getting the vote for man of the match. I cannot understand why Richarlison's getting the vote for man of the match. Oh, it was a chance. Mason Mount. Oh, Pickford's made a save from Azpilicueta. Couple of good chances there for Everton. Couple of good for Chelsea. And we've still got 10 minutes left. There's plenty of time. Azpilicueta does well. Lays it off to Mount. Good block. And then Azpilicueta hits it. And Pickford knocks it over the bar. I think it was going over the bar anyway. Let's have a look at the stats on the OneFootball app. 70% possession for Chelsea. It's been steady. It's been higher than that. It's never dropped below 70%. It's been up to 80% at half time. 9 shots for Chelsea, 12 for Everton, 6 on target for Everton, only 2 on target for Chelsea. I think that tells you the story. All the possession has been Chelsea's, but they've not had enough shots on target. Total passes, only 214 passes for Everton, 516 passes for Chelsea, and yet they're losing this game 2-1. They've just not been clinical enough or creative enough in that final third. Nick P says, Mark, tonight I will hunt down my old Just Eat account and give it another go. You could do Friends Reunited next week. Bring back all the classics. And Mark, do the Rangers game tomorrow, says Vortex. But I can't do that tomorrow because it's the wife's birthday tomorrow. So we're out tomorrow. So I won't be doing a watch along tomorrow. Who remembers when Ander Herrera spat on City's badge at the Etihad? I do, Reese, MUFC. Why did we let that guy go? Sign your name across my heart. I want you to be my baby. let's have a final push for subscribers. Bottom right hand corner, please subscribe if you're new and share the video if you're not underneath the video. Bottom right hand corner, please subscribe. We're starting Football Manager this week. We have got Champions League watch-alongs coming up on Tuesday as well. Might be doing 2, Liverpool, Salzburg and Chelsea versus Lille. Everybody's welcome on here, doesn't matter who you support. Thanks for everybody who has been getting involved in the chat again today. Just makes watching the football games that we probably all watch more enjoyable, doesn't it? To be interacting, and that's what the channel's all about. It's not about realistically being biased, although we're always going to be a little bit biased, aren't we? But I don't support either of these clubs. It's just been another interesting game to watch. And Chelsea whipping in across here. That's got to be a foul. Not given. Will Chelsea get a golden opportunity? They've gone with 2 up front now. They've got Batshuayi and Tammy Abraham. Desperately trying to get back into it. Even a point would do. Even a point would do. Terence Trent Derby, says Richard Grant. Yes, good shout. We have got people from my era watching. In relation to the league table, if Chelsea were to lose this game as they are at the moment, they would be on 29 points. If Wolves were to win their game tomorrow, they would go 3 points behind Chelsea, who are in 4th position. Everton. Oh, yes. 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 No. Yes, it's in. And Chelsea have lost. And Duncan Ferguson is loving life. He's running up and down the pitch. He's hugging a ball boy. And Everton have gone 3-1 up. And just poor defensively from Chelsea. But this is what Everton have done. It's the smash and grab. It's Calvert-Lewin. It's Davies who kept fighting. Duncan Ferguson's happy. They fought today. That's what Everton have done. They've gone to war and they've fought. And it's Kepa again. Kepa is a bloody... How does Kepa get picked for Spain over De Gea? He is absolute shite. He's the most overrated keeper in the world. He's a joke. He inflicts this. He inflicts this on them. I mean, Chelsea had opportunities to get rid of the ball, but Kepa, he invites that pressure. Kepa's got the ball, and he passes it to an Everton player. 3-1 Everton, massive 3 points, and we were just looking at the league table there, and I think we can safely look at that league table now and say that Chelsea will lose this game, and Chelsea are now. And Kepa looks very upset. He's crap. If I was Lampard, I'd be furious with him. I'd get out. You can walk back from Liverpool, and you're not getting the train. I'm putting an alert out. Do not give this person a lift. He is crap, and he has cost Chelsea there. Well, he's cost Chelsea the opportunity to maybe get back into the game. Bernard's coming on for. It's like little and large. Duncan Ferguson against Bernard is like the Hobbit standing next to Anthony Joshua. That's the size difference in height. Right, let's change the score anyway, because it legit is 3-1, and it's been another enjoyable game. And I love these sort of games of football where you expect the better team to win, but the underdog who has changed their manager, and Bernardo Silva. Marco Silva, the one who got sacked, he'll be sat there at home. I'd like to say be gutted, but actually he's very well off, isn't he? He's very, very well off. I love this game, says iTunes. £70 million they paid for Kepa, says Dylan Westron. Well needed 3 points, massive, says Paul Crowley. And Kepa's taking over as manager tomorrow, says Velaz. Well done to Everton, says Tommy Darko. They've thoroughly deserved it, Everton. But let me just finish what I was going to say, and this because this is now a fact. Chelsea are in 4th on 29 points. They're going to lose. If Wolves win this weekend, they will be on 26 points, 3 points behind Chelsea. If Manchester United win against Man City, they will be 5 points behind Chelsea. If Spurs win, they will be 6 points behind Chelsea. So it's closing that gap on the top 4, and that's what this result today for Chelsea will do. It gives everybody else a little bit of a glimpse, and Chelsea have got Arsenal and Tottenham to play before the end of the year. There are opportunities for Chelsea to drop more points. Should Lampard have rotated that team? He picked the same 11. Jorginho could have played today. They've got a big game in midweek. They could still drop down to the Europa League. I don't think they will, but they could. So a bad result for Chelsea. An opportunity, slightly leaving that door ajar. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I really did think that the top four would be the top four. But Leicester, Man City and Liverpool at the moment looking like they've got those positions nailed down. Unfortunately for Chelsea, they're leaving the door ajar. And they've just not been good enough today. Chelsea have not been good enough today. If you look at the app, you can download it for free. It's the OneFootball app. The link is in the video description. But if you look at that and you go to matches, and it is 3-1. And Calvert-Lewin's getting a lot of votes now, but Richarlison's still being voted for man of the match. But statistically, if I said to you, Chelsea have got 70% possession, they've had 531 passes to Everton's 222, yet they're losing 3-1. The reason they're losing 3-1 is they've had 3 shots on target and Everton have had 7. Everton have done what United need to do later. You are not going to have all the possession. The opposition are going to have the possession, but you've got to be clever on the break. And Everton have been very clever on the break. Look at the space that Chelsea, they did. Well, it happened at Old Trafford as well. Look at the space Chelsea leave at the back because they try to, you know, they have a lot of possession, but if they don't create the chances, you can hurt them on the break. And they've been beaten pretty much the same way that we beat them on the opening day. Chelsea, but I think Chelsea have been worse than that. They haven't created the chances today. And there was a chance on the back post for Pulisic. Poor header. Possession means nothing if you're not leading. Enough said, says Leslie Light. And it's spot on. That's why I think United can get something today. We're not going to have the possession. We're not going to be the pretty team on the ball. But what you do when you get the ball, because these teams leave space at the back, is the most important thing. Makes me depressed to think we will still be 5 points behind Chelsea if we win today. I don't trust us to win all our games, says Fitness Unscripted Karath. I don't think we'll be 5 points behind Chelsea today. I think it will be a draw. But and 5 points is still quite a lot at Christmas, isn't it? But I mean, look, this is what's meant to happen when you change your goalkeeper, when you change your manager. The players respond. They fight for every second of the game. And that's what Everton have done. They've responded. They've shown that, you know, and it happens so much because the players have a massive responsibility when a manager gets the sack. Of course they do. But what happens is that manager gets sacked and the players are like, I don't want it to be on me. So they suddenly start, well, it's a new start. I'm going to try really hard for the new manager and the new coach because I'm playing for my future now. And everybody's performances are meant to go up by like 20, 30, 40%. And we've seen that with Everton today. They've all gone up a level with the change of a manager. That's what I was saying about Arsenal on Thursday night. Like, there's still Arsenal fans that are up the arse of the current players going, oh, it's not your fault. Like Lacazette put a tweet out talking about he's played so many games. And everyone's like, oh, my hero, this, that and the other. And I'm like, well, Lacazette is as part of the problem as any other Arsenal player. You know, you can't have your favourites when you sack a manager and they're still shit. It's the players at Arsenal. I'm sorry, you've got to get on the back of the players. As a rival fan who doesn't really give a shit about Arsenal either way, to me, you know, you've sacked your manager and you've took 1 point from 6 against teams you should be beating. That's on the players. Look at Everton today. They weren't expected to get a result today. They sacked their manager. They all go up a level and play beyond their means, and that's what's meant to happen. And at Arsenal, it hasn't. It's a joke. Gaming with Manuel says Arsenal couldn't bounce off a trampoline. I've heard it before. I like it. It's very good. Also imagine our players staying fit, playing 2 games a week. I will join you for the stream later. Need a few drinks. I'm having a few drinks tonight. Manchester Derby, Saturday night. We're sponsored by Just Eat as well, so make sure you join us for that. Get your takeaways. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And this has been a nice aperitif. Is that the thing you have after? Appetizer, sorry. But fantastic result. Absolutely fantastic result for Chelsea. United win. AJ to knock Ruiz Jr. out. Come on United and come on AJ. Love your content, pal, and love my Cantonars jumper, says the Phil6688. Cheers for getting one, mates. They are very popular. I haven't even put the link in this video if people want to get one. I'll drop it in the watch along later. Just in relation to the league table, I don't look below 5th, 6th now, because that's where United are. Arsenal are on 19 points and Everton are on 17 points, so they've not bypassed them. But Everton are in 10th at the moment, and they could be even lower than that by the time the weekend is done. I don't know what the fixtures are tomorrow, but I can tell you that Villa play Leicester. I don't think they can go above them. Newcastle play Southampton, they can go above them, and Brighton play Wolves, they can go above them. So they could drop down to 12th before they play West Ham. And I think if West Ham beat them, they can go above them as well. So if things went really bad for Arsenal, they could be down as low as 13th on Tuesday. Surely they'll get a win against West Ham. Surely they'll start to bounce at some point. 6 minutes added on in this game. That's a lot. That's a lot of minutes to add on in a game like this. And Leslie, you're right. If United can win, it's all about the momentum. That's why we've got to win. Thanks to say he's an Arsenal fan, says, but appreciates the fact that I call it out. Is well, on this channel, it's not really always about United, is it? It's about talking about other clubs, and I think with Chelsea, I did say it a couple of months ago. My concern with Chelsea is that they've been playing very, very well, but over a season, are they going to get tired? And you know they've got more midfield options than United, but Loftus-Cheek's been injured, Ross Barkley's been injured, Kante's been injured. And their front three is starting to look tired as well. I think Chelsea just look like a team that's going to get a bit of fatigue, and they're a bit of an inexperienced side as well. So I just think Chelsea will drop off a little bit. With Arsenal, I expected when they sacked Emery them to go and get 6 points, and they didn't. And I think that's on the players. The road trip is out on the United stand. If anyone wants to go and watch that, Flex on the way up to the derby. I really enjoy watching that myself as well. It sort of gets you in the mood, doesn't it, a few hours before the game. That's on the United stand, so pop over there. If you don't know what the United stand is, just type it into YouTube. Go and check out our latest video, which is Flex driving up there to the game. He does the fan cams. And knock a subscribe on there and join us for the match watch-along for United versus Derby. Dream on Derby, Sheepshaggers. United versus City in the derby. 4:30. That's the final whistle. Thanks everyone for watching. Download the OneFootball app. It's free. Thanks to them for sponsoring this show today. But more importantly, thanks to all you lot for tuning in. Another 4,000 people watching a watch along on this channel. It's going from strength to strength. So make sure you subscribe and get involved. Really enjoyed it. I am back in 2 hours, Notion. I'll be back on the United stand in 2 hours for the Manchester Derby watch along. We are sponsored by Just Eat on that, so we've got some great giveaways to give away. If you don't know what the United stand is, or you do know what the United stand is, just tap it into YouTube now. We've got our road trip has just gone up. Flex on his way up to the game, talking about the latest team news, how he thinks it's going to be. Go and check that out now, and I'll see you on the United stand at 4:30. And hopefully, I'll see more of you on here as well. Make sure you subscribe to this channel too. We will be back with Champions League watch-alongs on Tuesday. And we've got Football Manager coming up next week as well. So thanks everyone for watching. Cracking win for Everton. Totally deserved. We've not actually had the final whistle yet. I thought it was done. And Ben is saying it's not done yet. It's not. It is now. It is done now. Lampard's off straight down the tunnel. Says, well done to Duncan Ferguson. He's nearly crying. What a nice day for him that is. 3-1. And they're very happy at Everton. Would they consider giving him the full-time job? I tell you what, I wouldn't go back to Moyes. We never even spoke about who the next Everton manager should be. Do not go back to David Moyes. He is done out here. He is a dinosaur. I'll see you on the United stand at 4:30.